So are you familiar with one pedal driving?
Yeah.
Okay. I ask because a lot of people who drive cars are usually not, is usually their first time driving an electric vehicle.
So does this have different adjustments for the braking action?
It does. So right now it is off for the moment, but I'll turn it back on in just a second. It has like normal and kind of a more aggressive regen. The regen on this car is pretty strong, but that does help to kind of recharge.
Different levels of regen?
There's two of them. There's
on and off?
Yeah,
two levels?
There's two levels, yeah,
Gotcha.
then basically kind of turning off, yeah.
I like the off version.
Okay, I'll keep that off for you here.
No, we'll try both
Okay,
ways.
sure.
I tend to use the regen on a 30 mile an hour area where you just want it to hold 30 miles an hour.
Right,
But
yeah.
on the highway, don't want
Don't want to have it
don't
on.
want to feel that going.
Right, yeah. So we'll get to this light here, then we'll take a left. Alternatively, you do also have your paddle on the left side of the steering wheel, and that's your regen paddle.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can kind of squeeze and select how much regen you want there, yeah. Yeah, the regen is really strong in this car.
So you actually hold it?
You do, yeah.
Oh, I got you. Okay. So it's back to off now, right?
It is, yeah. So this car, I believe, doesn't creep like on a straight line when you let off. Well, here off is on a hill. Well, yeah. Here what we'll do here. We'll take a left. We'll go down 71 for about a mile and a half, and then we'll take a left at Bee Caves.
BKs.
So does the Chevy Cruze work on the highway here, or just the interstate?
Oh, the Super Cruise?
Yes.
I'm not sure exactly which roads they work on, but I know it's an extensive. I think it's like something like 400,000 different roads, and I know they're adding more roads, and like in updates and stuff like that. So those will be continually worked on, and over time they'll add more.
So this says auto drive, it'll drive itself.
So that's what the Super Cruise is, yeah. So it is on the car right now, but it's just not active. I don't know if that's. I think it's from like a software standpoint. They're working on that, and it'll come out like early January of next year. But the hardware is already all in the car, so it's all set up. Pretty much like what you see in this lyric right here is what's going to be in all lyrics. There's not a lot of different types of like options and extras.
Yeah, I
and
don't
stuff
think
like
I'd
that.
speed past him on it.
No.
Let's go.
Yeah, we can do that. He's busy.
I know the cops out here can be really brutal. But yeah, so this is the rear-wheel drive version. It's got about 312 miles of range, 350 horsepower and foot-pounds of torque. From my personal experience, the range has been pretty good. We were working yesterday and Tuesday out in Northwest Austin, doing a bunch of drives, pretty much from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. straight. We were finishing the day with just above half battery. And half of that is with regen, half is without. I've also worked with this car at the F1 racetrack, doing dealer training out there for about a whole week and a half in September. And on full AC, max AC, AC seats, and without regen, with about 6 hours of on-track time daily, we were getting about the same amount of charge at the end of the day, about half.
Half?
About half.
After 6 hours?
About 6 hours, yeah.
Huh. So that says if you went cross country, you could drive for 12 hours.
Well, so like, it's depending on your, we'll take a left at this light here. It depends on obviously your driving style and stuff like that. But, the F1 track has a lot of big braking zones. So like, everyone's, some are using regen and some are not. But obviously, the mileage will vary on how you drive it, obviously.
Yeah. You would expect 300 miles in 6 hours.
Right, yeah. My experience has been, I'm pretty sure it's on par with that number. It may be a little conservative, but like I said, it varies.
Is this an electronic rear view mirror there?
It is, yeah. And you can actually turn that off if you want to have this flap here. You can push it away from you and it goes to like a regular mirror. So it's the same mirror on the C8 and on the Escalade.
So it's a little wider view, and you don't have any heads in the way.
Just a little bit of a wider view, yeah.
Yeah, you don't have the headrests in the way.
Right.
Huh, I like that. It's nice and bright too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really good, especially like in really bad weather, or if you have like stuff in the back you can't see out of it. It's pretty neat.
Until the slush gets on the camera, and then you're screwed.
Right. There is a a washer fluid button on the left stick there that you can actually wash the camera. It's specifically just for that.
That's cool.
What is this?
That is the volume button. So it's like a little knob that you can push up and down to turn the volume up and down.
Left or
We'll
right?
take a left here, yeah. Kind of doing a long U-turn here through this area.
So is there a noise audio generated, or are we just listening to electric engine or
So
motors?
the noise you hear, we'll slow down a little bit here to take a left at the top of the hill. The noise you're hearing right here. The noise you're hearing at right now. So that is speakers on the front. That's for like pedestrian awareness. That is, I think, a regulation that all electric cars have to have below a certain speed. But that noise right now, the car accelerating, that's the motors itself. So there's no like fake noise of like, oh, it's trying to sound like a race car or whatever.
It's nice acceleration, but it's not as good as the Teslas.
Yeah, the Teslas are, they're going to have the best acceleration in a straight line. The all-wheel drive version of this car has about 500 horsepower and around 500 foot-pounds of torque. But, don't come into this car thinking, about the performance, really. Like, that's not what they're trying to, they're not trying to make it like a performance vehicle, obviously. It's kind of like more like luxury. That's like kind of the focal point of, what they're trying to make. Tesla's always going to have the best straight
It's a
line.
nice ride, isn't
It's pretty decent, yeah. I mean, I've driven this car for a pretty quick lap at COTA. We'll take a right here at this intersection here. I did a hot lap in this car at COTA, and using a lot of the curbs. And COTA's a really bumpy track, but it does a really bang on job, and rides pretty smooth.
Almost sounds like a gasoline engine.
Right. We'll take a left here. Yes, that noise is the.
There's those buildings we see from a distance, and we wonder where they are.
Yeah.
Now we know. Wonder what are they?
I think they're like apartments or condos, something like that. They're building a lot of stuff out here the last year or so. Yeah, it looks like apartments, I think.
So why don't we take a ride?
We'll keep going straight here.
Can't we just do a loop?
Yeah, we'll do a quick loop here. We can just go up here real quick. We got time.
We're ahead of schedule.
Yeah, we got time.
So it's a heavy car filled with batteries. So you
Yeah,
notice that on the cornering, Terry?
It corners. It feels very comfortable in the turns. There's no leaning of any kind. I wonder what that is. It must be just a house over there.
Yeah, probably be built.
Yeah, it's it's very stable, which you would expect with all that lower. I guess we're not going to get around behind that.
Here.
What's the turning circle like?
Wow. Now we could have. Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
So do they have a distance that it can cover when you're going 75 miles an hour as opposed to 50 or optimal?
Let's try the right here. Look at that. Do a U-turn right here in the intersection. That's very nice. It's very tight.
Pretty decent.
it? Okay, gonna make me dizzy.
Oh, there we can see.
Yeah, like I was saying, we'll take a right that stop sign there. Yeah, like I was saying earlier, obviously the range will depend. A lot of electric vehicles do tend to get a little bit less range while they're on the highway. Like if you're doing stop and go, you can use the region, try to get a little bit of that back.
See right here?
Yeah, right here. But generally, you see a little bit less range when you're on the highway because you're at a constant speed, right? So.
constant speed, greater wind resistance,
Exactly.
and not a lot of regen to help you along.
Exactly, yeah. So like in the city, you will get some back, especially if one pedal drive active or using the regen paddle. But yeah, obviously expect a little less on the highway. Generally, most cars nowadays are pretty aerodynamic, so you probably won't lose too much. But you know, just food for thought. And we'll take it right here at the stop sign.
Anything else you want me to do back there, John?
No, I'm fine.
Let's see if I can
Nice
grab-
riding car.
There's a hill here. Shall I try to get some air?
How's the radio?
Let's try that. I'll play some music. Let me read this, guys.
Guns N' Roses, that's your kind of music, Terry.
Is there any speakers back there that you hear?
Not yet.
Yeah.
We actually have speakers in the headrest right here on the front seats too.
Oh, I used to have that on my Fiero.
Yeah.
Yep. Terry had one too.
There must be something you can do to the sound because it's not.
Yeah, I know you can like change the equalization and stuff like that. I will say, depending on your music, like it does play a lot of bass as well. One of the better sound systems I've heard in the car. We'll go to the roundabout and take it right there. Be a little bit more. Right. Let's take the first exit there. The second intersection will take a left there. So right here, take a left here.
Left?
Right, sorry, right. And then left here.
Back in.
Yeah, sure. Okay, all this is us today. So to put in reverse, bring your right stick towards you, then up. You got your rear view camera right there.
What's this vibration in my seat?
So that's the kind of like the warning sensor in the car. So that will vibrate in the seat when you get too close to objects and stuff like that. Right here's good. Park at the end of the stick right there.
That's good if you don't hear too well. You got the car talking to you through your.
Right. I will say it's such a weird sensation that it really gets your attention. Like it does a pretty good job. And the Escalades have the same exact thing as well. That works for front detection, rear detection, even like turning and stuff like that.
What's this?
So those are the vent controls. So you twist them to like open and close them, and it's like omnidirectional, so you can do whatever you want with that.
How's the heater?
I haven't actually tested it yet. AC is very good, but you know, my time with the car has been in 100-degree weather. But heated seats are good. They're very good. AC seats are really good too.
The shortcome of the Volt is it has a lousy heat. No, in fact, no heat.
Oh, interesting.
Except the heated seat, which is something, but it's not enough.
The idea is we want you to be able to get in the vehicle.
Well, our guy driver couldn't do it, so
There it is. This is the
he
front.
didn't try doing that. He was looking for a secondary latch.
So you pop this off. So right now we have this power inverter that we're using to give it power in the showroom, which is not even hooked up
So
technically.
normally
right
that
now.
wouldn't be in there.
That wouldn't be in there. So you've got your, this is just a standard automobile battery. That runs all your low voltage stuff like your lights, you know, when you open the doors and the vehicle's not actually on. And then you've got your, anything orange is high voltage. And then you've got some controllers and modules and whatnot. And then what you see here, you got some AC lines, AC condensers up here. The grill is down here, so air flows through the AC condenser. And then this unit right here with this black coolant line, which I'll remove this so you can kind of see it. But this is the coolant for the batteries. This is the heat exchanger to keep that coolant cool, and then that goes down into the battery packs on your vehicle.
Where, is that the motor right there?
No, this doesn't have a motor up front. The motor is in the back axle because
okay.
it's a rear-wheel drive.
Gotcha.
So when they have the all-wheel drive, most likely a motor will be there with this repackaged to fit differently. But we have yet to see that.
This could you jumpstart another car using a battery? 12 volt?
That's my understanding. It's just a standard automobile battery.
Yeah.
You should be able to.
What about using this for power, like for your house, like the F-150 pickup?
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, I've not seen anything that shows that being a possibility.
No storage up here.
Correct. No storage.